Township Board of Trustees and Lafayette Township Fire District meeting to order for Monday, February 7th, my wife's birthday, at 7:01. Roll call vote.
Fullerton here.
O'Neill here.
Corcola here.
Ruben's all here.
Okay. All right. The meeting minutes did go out for review. They went out really late, and I apologize for that. I'll get better with
Pledge
it.
allegiance first.
Oh, my God, yes, I'm sorry. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Okay. All right. Did everybody get a chance to read the meeting minutes? Were you okay with meeting minutes for both the organizational meeting on the 10th and our first meeting on the 17th?
I'm okay with both.
Any comments, any issues?
I'll move to approve them.
All right.
Second.
Motion by trustee Fullerton to approve, seconded by trustee O'Neill. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign? Okay. Passed and set. All right. This is our inaugural quote-unquote light meeting. The idea for this meeting is it's not going to be necessarily a full bore meeting with all the departmental reports. This is to get everybody together so we have 2 meetings a month rather than one, in an effort to minimize and cut down the need for special meetings. So it's kind of a scheduled basis and people know when it's going to happen. Okay? So as such, there are no formal reports from the departments. What I will ask, I'll poll each of the departments and ask if there's anything special they want to add or bring up, anything of concern that we need to address at this meeting. So we will start with fiscal officer.
All right, I have one thing, and it is the township road mileage certification. I need it signed by 2 trustees, and I will get it in the mail.
Okay.
A yearly thing.
Yep.
Did you confirm this was?
Yeah, I talked with Rick already about it.
And I will sign off on one, and you will sign the other one if you would. There you go. Thank you, sir. And you have it back now.
Thank you. That is it.
Anything else? Okay. Zoning, Alice, anything of particular significance?
Yes, I did get a hold of the surveyor, because Lewis Land has been having our footer inspections, and they are doing so for Redwood right now. But for the golf course, if we ever get that going, they are the surveyors and engineers on it, so you have to get another surveyor. You can't have the Fox trying to make sure the hen house is secure. I initially recommended Sue of Cornerstone, because I'm familiar with her work, and she had agreed, but then she went and broke her leg in several places, so that kind of put a kibosh on that. She is healed, but she's not into doing a whole lot anymore. It's not right. She did recommend, when I talked to her last year, Mark, a surveyor by the name of Mark, and I forget his last name, but you have it. I did call him, and he is more than willing to do it for the same terms that we've been doing it all along. $350 to the surveyor, $400 to the. So he's ready, willing, and able. And I told him at the rate we're going with the HOAs, it might be a little while, but so if it's all right with you, Chris, you told me to call him.
Yeah,
I did, and
yeah.
he was agreeable last year when she broke her leg, then of course we didn't need him, and he's still agreeable now, so we're good to go.
Now, are we just gonna use him for the golf course, or would he be the new person we transition for everything and not use Lewis Land?
Well, probably everything. I don't know about Redwood, whether you want to have Lewis Land continue with Redwood, or Lee
Okay.
can do Redwood, have Mark do the other.
Okay.
We'd have an agreement with both, so we could use either
Okay, so you
one.
just have a
right?
choice of either.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real contract, they just go out there and at the end of the month, if they did 5, they send in a bill for 5 and Laura pays them and so forth. So, we're covered,
All right,
and that's what is most important, we had to be covered.
all right. All right, any discussion?
No,
All right.
I've talked with Alice about it already, so.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion that we would accept Mark? And for the record, could you please get Mark's last name and information so we can have it in the
I have
minutes?
it. I have it.
Or
I
just pass the Karen Smith in the minutes, is all. Okay.
Sure, I have it in my
All
phone.
right, do we have a motion to accept Mark
Give me a
as
second.
a secondary?
I will motion to accept him as a secondary surveyor.
Second?
I'll second that.
Second by trustee Fulton. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign? Okay,
Susan,
so moved. Okay. Alice, anything else?
Not at the moment, since we're not doing reports, but that was the main thing.
Okay.
We wanted to be sure that, here, wait, give you his name. Come on. Mark Trotter, Trotter, and he spells Mark M-A-R-C,
Okay.
and he's out of Valley City.
All right, Laura, do you need anything special so we can make payments to him after he does things, or how does that? Okay, so you've got everything you need then? Okay,
So he
cool.
just sends an invoice in,
Okay.
and,
All right, excellent.
we're done. Okay, so that's all for me.
Okay. All right, we have no law enforcement representative tonight. Chief, Fire Department.
Just a couple quick things. Want to publicly thank Seville Guilford for sending their ladder truck over the other day. We had no heat in the building for 2 days because the snow was piled up so high over the vent pipes that it shut everything down, and we needed their ladder truck to get up on the roof and shovel about 70 feet of snow off the roof. So we're glad to have their help.
So what, I mean, that's good that we could do that. What's our long-term solution for that?
Well, we have Samsel coming in to take a look at the machine, at the furnaces. They haven't been serviced, or they're due for just a
Okay.
service and a once over. And then we're gonna see what their suggestions are. I
Okay.
think we're gonna have to either reposition the vent pipes through the roof, or possibly they can extend them in some way. We're not sure yet.
I know there's only so high you can go with them, but,
Yeah, so it's,
so we're potentially looking at cutting another hole in the roof?
I don't know yet. That could be a possibility.
Yikes, okay.
Where they're at though is right where this building and the bays come together, and it's
Yeah.
kind of a valley, and the snow just collects right up on top of there and covers them up. We had the same issue last year, but it wasn't as bad.
Okay,
So this year it's,
all right.
How
But
many-
you are reviewing that though, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, they're gonna, when they come in, I think it's next week, or later this week or beginning of next week, they'll be in, and we'll go ahead and.
Okay.
Wednesday?
Okay.
And so AC Holzman and Lieutenant Uniac do the short straws and had to climb up on the roof and shovel, so thanks for their efforts. It was a good couple-hour project up there, so it was quite a Friday. Steve came in and plowed the whole parking lot, cleaned it up, so. Got a lot of stuff
It's
going
not
on.
exactly an easy thing up on a steel roof in the wintertime.
No. So, and the other thing,
Well, hey, one second. Trustee Fuller, did you have a?
Yeah, how many pipes did you say, Chief, were up there?
4.
And you had to dig around all 4 to get the furnaces to fire back up? So that,
Yeah, so they were all,
There's actually 8. Each pipe is 2.
oh,
Intake and exhaust. Each pipe is actually, it's a mushroom head intake exhaust, so it's technically 8 pipes.
4 holes. Okay.
Can't they just extend the pipes higher?
I think there's a limit
I
how
tried it.
high you
I don't
can,
know.
yeah, but I believe there's a limit how high you can go. No?
Shut it on the wall.
Okay, I guess not.
we'll see, it may be
30 feet.
something as simple as doing a ninth, I don't know, so. I'm sure we'll get some.
But they'll come up, they'll give us recommendations. Okay, good.
So, And the, one other thing I'd like to bring up and get approval is to, I got an application from April Winter. She was on the department for probably close to 20 years. 25. And she's a firefighter, advanced EMT. She would like to come back to the department, so I would like your approval to bring her on as a probationary member.
Okay. We have a motion to,
Lincoln Lafayette requested department for a vehicle on fire in the area of 7373 Lafayette Road, 7373 Lafayette Road, unknown as the occupied vehicle on fire.
all right, do we have a motion to rehire April Winter?
I motion to rehire.
Second?
Right
I'll
next to you.
second that, yep.
Okay. Any discussion?
No.
We do have a,
Mark,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why is she not here?
Why she's not here?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
She resigned a couple of years ago.
Why?
And then wants to come back.
Oh, why'd she leave? I thought you meant why she's physically here right now.
Oh.
No. Why is she not with the department?
Oh, she resigned
Why?
2.5 years ago? Don't know, you'd have to ask her that directly.
Well, don't you think you should know that?
I trust my chief's judgment.
Why did she resign?
I didn't ask.
Did we
I
approach
know
her,
I know
chief?
she brings a lot to the table and.
Well, I'm not disagreeing.
Oh, I'm
But
sorry.
when people resign, there's a
Yeah.
reason for it.
I screwed up, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize. We need to have you state your name
Sure.
for the record.
Marty, I'm Ron Spanhauer.
I just,
You know.
yeah, I know, but we gotta, okay. I'm trying to do everything right. It's really hard for me.
Usually when people resign, there's an exit interview or whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't
It's
here
part
at the
of this
time.
practice.
I wasn't here at the time, but I
Well,
do know her.
she started out with an extended leave, she needed an extended leave of absence.
Okay.
And if I remember right, and this is strictly from memory, and
Yeah.
my wife will tell you my memory is not that good. She wanted like a 6-month leave of absence.
Okay.
And the longest we allowed at that point was 90 days. AC, was that, do you remember that, or is it just,
She was on leave first, that's. what I
okay.
remember.
And it was longer than what we normally would have allowed. So she just,
It wasn't because she was locked up or nothing like that, right?
no.
Oh, no.
Okay, okay, just,
We didn't want her to leave if that's what's wrong.
yeah, sometimes you want people, sometimes they just, it's best for their careers. to
Yes.
leave, And then they want to come back. It was not, you gotta make sure that the problem's corrected first before you come back, so.
Did we approach her, chief, or did she approach us?
I didn't approach her. I think she
Okay.
expressed an interest. And
Okay.
then a couple of people reached out to her after she expressed interest.
Okay, all right.
So,
But we've got a lot of people here that worked with her in the past, there were no issues that they had with her,
No.
and, okay.
she came, I never had the opportunity to work with her closely.
Well, she was a
I know
lieutenant here at one point.
She was a lieutenant here, but everybody, the feedback I got from the people on the department that were here when she was here, all said it was all very positive.
But she's an advanced EMT, is she a fire one or fire two?
Fire one,
Fire one, okay. Any chance we can talk her into going back to medical school?
we can try.
Okay, always want another paramedic.
Absolutely.
All right. All right, any other, any discussion of the board?
No.
All right, then I would ask for a vote. All those in favor of rehiring April Winter? Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign? All right, motion carries. Rehire April Winter. I would like to make a motion at this point. Chief came to me with this a couple weeks ago and asked if we could bring her back on, and I said, well, we can't until we have a board direction. One of the things I wanted to do with the last board, and we never really got to it, was I would like to, until we get a full board approval, and Bill, this, I need your input on this as well. I would like to give the chief permission to hire with the approval of the fire liaison until we get a full board approval. Now, I mean, at this point, it's only gonna be a couple-week period, but the last board, it could have been up to a month. Is there any legal reason why we couldn't do that, Bill?
Only the difficulty if the board then doesn't want to keep her, because you gotta get
Yeah,
Okay,
cause to get rid of.
okay,
don't hire before you can.
okay. All right, then I'll withdraw that motion. Okay, Chief, anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Board is early, so.
Yeah, well, we'll see that in 2 weeks. And I've got a copy of it, so if it's the exact same thing, you're gonna get no. All right, service, anything?
Yeah, I don't know what we have to do legally to, in the subdivisions to keep the people from blowing the snow back out in the road. You know, we plow it off the road and they push it back out in the road, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, that gets tough. I don't know what our recourse would be, I mean, especially after a huge snow like this. I know it makes it miserable for you guys.
Well, you know, the homeowner's got just as much real estate to put the snow on versus back out the road,
Yeah.
so.
Bill, what is the,
Obstruction of the road is illegal, I mean, if it actually causes damage, and if you know about it and don't take steps, you could end up with a lawsuit of it because you didn't take steps to clean the road.
okay.
It's probably, it's been a long time since I did a misdemeanor work, but I believe it used to be a misdemeanor, but I don't know if you want to go that far. I think the board could draft a letter, send it to the various subdivisions, and they can push it, if they're gonna push it across the street.
But that's
Don't leave it
that's
in the
gonna
street.
apply, that isn't just for the whole, that'd be for anybody in the rural roads as well. If they push snow out, they've gotta keep it off the road.
Yeah, yeah, any road,
Okay.
any type of road.
Is it a bigger issue for you in the subdivisions than
Yeah,
it
in the
is out in the?
subdivisions.
All right.
I will say that the folks on the cul-de-sacs don't have a lot of real estate to put their snow.
They got backyards.
It does make it tough, though.
Yeah, I
And when
get
you get 2 foot of snow, there's not a whole lot of places to.
it. No, I get it, you know, it's tough all the way around, but it's,
I mean, I saw you running around, was it today with the front end loader, trying to clean up some of the
gonna
corners?
stack the snow up in the cul-de-sacs.
Okay. All right. Why don't you, Ty, why don't you look at maybe putting something together with
Yeah,
Bill? Just as like a reminder out that you're not supposed to do this and try not to do it, and not that we're trying to spank anybody, but just a reminder that does.
No, I just
create
think that we are, that, I don't know if a letter goes to the HO, I think just, we gotta start out with maybe a friendly letter to the HOA.
Well, that's what we're talking about, yeah.
know.
Just a reminder that, you know, if you push too much back out, it could cause another issue.
Yeah, you don't want, I mean, some of these cars sit pretty low and then they push out, you know, if they're pushing out a bunch of snow and then it's, you know, damages the cars, you know, and then I get, you know, Bill said that we're liable for it.
Justin, you're president of HOA, right?
I sit on the board
Okay.
for Hunter's Run, yes.
All right.
I sent you guys an
What's your
email,
thoughts?
actually. Well, I don't know.
I'm sorry, Justin Paroli, for the record.
Yes, I don't know, I don't know how you want to approach it from a political standpoint as far as, you know, if you want to play that game. I mean, I sent you guys photos, that was a complaint that we received
Mhm.
on the board from one of our homeowners. And again, I don't know what you do for the service department, what the remedy is, but whoever was clearing the Hunter's Run development at the end of Birchwood pushed the snow up over the curb, across the sidewalk and into like our waste area. There was a huge mound where they clearly drove their truck across the sidewalk. I mean, if you're going to send out a letter to tell homeowners not to put snow in the street, you're gonna get a letter back saying, don't put the street snow in our common areas. That's all. So I don't know how you play.
But there's a point, it's gotta go somewhere.
That's right where that's where all the snow runs.
If I drove my personal vehicle across the sidewalk and into a waste area, which some people argue is protected wetland area and whatnot, and dumped a whole bunch of salt, snow, road grime, I'd be getting some letters. So I'm guessing it's probably, you know, not the right play to do the whole, we can do whatever we want, but don't throw some snow in the end, you know. I think in the subdivisions, a lot of the issues and a lot of the things that we hear on the board is from people clear out their driveways, then the plows are able to come through finally and get stuff, because they've got more to do than just the subdivisions, they've got all the main roads and everything to keep clear. And then the plows, there's no way for them to avoid doing it, but they plow through the street, clear the street, and close in the end of everybody's driveway. And it's always that big, wet, heavy, slushy, whatever, so most people just shove it out into the street, and I'm not saying it's right, but, you know, it was out of my driveway and then you put it there, so that's the back and forth argument you're gonna get, so I don't know how you wanna address it, I probably wouldn't touch it, would be my take on it.
On your common area thing, your whole neighborhood, all the sewers, all the storm drains to that spot, so I don't think the salt is much of an issue there.
I'm not disagreeing with you there, but we've had some residents that have complained about things in the HOA to the board about the way that that area is treated. So I'm just passing that along. That was the complaint that I had forwarded to
Well,
the
we
three
got,
of
yeah,
you.
we got the one complaint about the snow.
Right.
Are there other things that the township's doing in that area they're complaining about?
No, I'm just saying like, as far as the way that those areas are treated in general with lawn maintenance that comes through and different stuff
Oh,
like that.
okay,
you know,
okay, I
that's-
got you.
That's viewed by some as being more than just general common area, you know, whether it's EPA protected or all that kind of stuff. So, again, not trying to get into that deep end of it, but if the township, and like I said, I don't know what else they're supposed to do with the snow from the streets either, it's gonna get piled up somewhere. But if you're gonna clear it off the roads across, I mean, that was 15
Well, yeah, I
feet
saw,
off
I saw the
road.
pictures, yeah.
You know, again, I don't know where you're supposed to put it, but if you're gonna do that and then turn around and tell people not to kick a little bit of snow in, or we're gonna look at legal repercussions, I don't know how you address that without some backlash.
Why don't you come down there and just take a look, see around, work with the board, see if there's an area you can put it besides the wetlands.
Is that a wetlands area?
Oh, yeah.
That's supposed to be protected, you're not supposed to do anything to a
Right.
wetland.
You're not supposed to put
Is it
anything in there.
actually a
It's
wetlands
listed
area?
as a
Yeah.
wetland.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
I
okay.
mean, I realize, like everybody's saying, snow's gotta go somewhere,
Right.
but putting it in a protected wetlands is not the key. There's gotta be some other spot
Okay.
in there somewhere.
Ty, you wanna
hopefully.
head down and take a look around, see what you can?
Yeah, I had looked at it, but absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
just come
okay.
down and take a look, see, work with the board.
Mm-hmm,
It's gotta
Okay.
go somewhere.
yeah.
you know.
How big's your driveway?
40 feet.
Yeah, we could dump most of it there.
Next to the
Okay.
wetlands.
Yes, Chief, it says Chief Holtzman.
Where does the snow melt go anyway eventually?
Into that wetland, into the catch basins. and-
Does the storm,
The storm
the
water
storm
drains
goes in
there.
that wetland?
Out of that old.
Well, then how can it be
subdivision.
protected if the storm goes in there?
I don't know,
Well,
because
wetland- the
that
wetland
subdivision
is-
was built long before me, but I
Okay.
can't fathom that they
All right, well,
had
let's,
drainage.
why don't we,
into the wetlands.
why don't we look at this one? Ty, maybe head down with Rick, take a look at it, see what you guys think.
Well, I can go up to the county and pull up the maps. I'll give you all the maps. I'll give you, that's where all the stormwater drains.
Probably why it's wetlands. It's where all the water goes, it's wetland,
So it's supposed to be a natural drainage.
yeah.
Exactly. It runs down to Chippewa Lake.
Right.
So whether it melts there in that cul-de-sac or whether it melts right where it's at, it's all going to the same place.
Do you put salt on that road? Or
Oh,
just-
no, I don't salt that.
Or just plow it?
No, I don't salt them roads.
So you just plow it, so what's going there is just
No. It can,
normal water, for
all
lack
the
of a
roads
better
get
phrase?
salted out.
You
Huh?
don't
He
salt
was
our
being
development.
facetious.
Is he saying he doesn't salt our development?
No, your development gets
All right,
salted.
stop, time out. Rick,
Just wanna make sure I
Rick was
understand.
just poking Alice with a stick is all.
And I just ignored him as usual.
Yes. All right, why don't we take it with that? Ty, we'll leave that up to you and Rick to kind of take a look at it and maybe come back. We've got a meeting in 2 weeks, see if there's any other kind of solution. Okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Tell Mother
Marty.
Nature not to dump 12 inches on us at once.
Yes, Chief.
A quick question about that, maybe Bill can answer. Does that also apply for, we see these, people are plowing out their driveways and they shove it clear across to the ditch on the other side and it leaves big piles of snow where the blade goes beside the blade? Is that also not
What you can't,
appropriate?
you can't to obstruct the road. If it's creating a travel problem on the road where somebody could have an accident because they hit the snow, That's the liability end of it. They're pushing it all the way across into a ditch that drains all the same place anyway, probably unless it's, again, falling onto the road somehow.
Are you
or
talking about the
obstructing that
trails on
side.
either side of the blade?
Yeah.
At my house, I do the same thing. The neighbor's okay with it. I push it across the road into his yard, but then I go back on the sides and I clean up the crumb. So I try real hard after I got yelled
No,
at
you
many
did.
years
You
ago.
said you clean it up.
Many years ago by our service department for leaving snow on the road. I think it was your brother threatened to run me over.
No, he just hit your mailbox.
Well, that's, okay. All right, I think we beat that one pretty well. Any other questions on that? Okay, Rick, anything else?
Yeah, Dave Betts has been part-time with the service department for, I think, 3 years now. He's a good, loyal employee, and I think that we need to make him full-time.
Okay.
Part-time's just not working out. You know, everybody's looking for help, and he can go right down the street and get a full-time job.
Wait, is your concern that if we don't give him full-time, he may leave, or that we
No,
really
he's-
need the
he's
full-time?
talked- Yeah, he's talked about that, you know, that he wants full-time, that he's been looking for full-time.
Okay, but the question is, are we considering offering him full-time as an incentive so he doesn't want to quit? Or because that is part of it, but we also
Well,
really need the
I
hours?
do need,
That's
I
two
do
different
have a
things.
spot open, I mean, for a full-time guy, I need another full-time guy,
Okay. How long has he been with us?
about 3 years. Laura would be able to, she'd be able to go in his file and look,
Any issues, any problems?
never. No.
Ty, you're the liaison, what do you think?
Rick and I have talked about it, and he's got some good valid points, and I would be in agreement myself, but
Do we have
I
a
would
good
want,
budget?
yeah, I would want to make sure before we do anything that we're good on
All right.
money.
Why don't we take that under advisement, you work with Laura, see if we can afford, I mean, whether it's a good idea or not, if we can't afford it, we can't afford it.
Right.
But if we can afford it, and get us back up to where we were,
Right.
okay?
Rick, would it be at the rate he's at now?
Roughly how many hours a week is he working now, Rick? I mean, not with the snowstorm and all, but a typical,
I still, you know, even, he's part-time, and I still get 32 hours out of him a
all
week.
right. So basically, he's
4
not gonna
days.
make that much more money, but he would get benefits then.
Right, on another day.
Yeah. So the extra hours is one thing, but then the benefit cost as well, so we just have to make sure we can afford to do it. I've got no problem doing it, we got a lot of stuff to do. Yes, please identify.
If Shirley Bailey,
Thank you.
with the part-time, like he says he's running approximately 32 hours a week.
Yeah.
That's full-time.
Yeah, you gotta be careful you start
The law
approaching
is
that.
at 30 hours. If you're consistent on 30 hours, you're full-time.
I know we run into that with the fire department as well, you gotta be real careful, yep,
Right.
yep. So we're kinda flirting with it anyways.
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, Ty, see if we can afford it, and if it's the right thing, we'll bring it to the next meeting. Okay,
We'll do it.
cool. Anything else?
Nope, I'm done.
Yes, this is chief.
I'd like to thank the service department for pulling us out of a driveway. We got a little off the driveway, we were stuck, and it was late at night, and Rick was able to come out and pull us out with no problem. We never would've got out on our own without calling rural truck or somebody, but it came down and pulled us out with no problem, so.
I understand though, during this last storm, there was a lot of back and forth. We had one of the guys from the department out helping plow snow as well, down in the subdivision. So
Correct,
it's a good collaboration of both efforts. That's to be applauded.
Yes, yeah, thanks, Tim, for helping me out down at Chippewa. Yeah, we all kind of just work together, so. just try to
Chippewa's not an
make it
easy area to
happen.
plow either. There's a lot of plow hazards down
A lot
there.
of guessing.
How the blades holding up down there? We usually use a couple cutting edges.
I need a little bit of everything,
Okay.
parts and,
Speaking of parts, did you get a hold of Marty for the parts of those blade, for that blade?
I got them out my truck. I'll show him after we get done here.
I may be able to get replacement RAM. You can't get the Rams anywhere. Nobody's got them. So
They're all back ordered.
So I know the manufacturer that used to make them for us up in New York, in Ticonderoga, I think it is. I'm gonna call him in the morning, see if I can't get him to find me a couple and ship them down.
You're gonna drive up and get them?
No, not go that far. We'll pay the freight. Okay. Yeah. How about, for the record, because we do get a lot of people calling and asking, if we do take out a mailbox, if one of our plow trucks takes it out, Ty, why don't you address or Rick, address what options residents have if we do take out a mailbox? And kind of how that process works.
We generally go out and we put up a temporary mailbox. I mean, because we can't, some people may prefer Rubbermaid or, you get into some of these subdivisions, I guess Justin can go along with it. They all have to be a certain kind, so, we don't do that. We go out, put up a temporary mailbox, or they can call in and Laura can give them a $35 check, and then they can do with whatever they want put up wherever they want.
Okay.
Which is
So-
consistent with the county.
Yes, yeah.
I would say most of the correspondences that I've got in the last 2 weeks have been mailboxes, but actually most of the people didn't know they lived on county roads. We had, I don't want to say 4, kind of lost track, had so many. We might have had three.
We got more than 4.
For us, but most of the calls were county mailboxes, but yeah, so same.
So we just direct them to the county, then let them know.
Mhm.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. All right. Okay. Any old business?
Yeah, I actually have 2 things for old business.
Okay.
Last meeting, the 17th, we had talked about new time clock procedures for the road department, and I had a question afterwards, well, how come we did that? Well, for the last several years, they were allowed to write their time in and write their time out. So in my opinion, best practices is time in, clock out, then there's no second guessing what they're doing down there. So that was the whole main reason. That's just best practices to stop anybody from questioning. And then also, I wasn't clear on the training tapes that we had started. The guys, well, they've been busy here lately plowing, but we did, they watched a HIPAA compliance video, bullying and respect in the workplace video, and then also a harassment one, which does touch on sexual harassment too, but I think Rick got another tape the other day specifically for sexual harassment. But that's required by law that we watch at least once a year. So, so now we're back where we're supposed to be on those. So I just wanted to clarify that old business.
Well, we haven't watched that last one yet. It'll be time. We'll have some downtime.
Oh, yeah.
We don't even have time to eat lunch right now, trying to scramble to get trucks ready for the next snow, and it's coming Thursday. And
To add on to that, before we move off that one, I'd also like to, based on the letter we got from KLR or KL, the risk assessment people,
Yeah.
they strongly recommended that all employees in the township go through those same kind of, and I've been saying that for years, we needed to, we just never have. So I'm gonna request that all township employees, Chief, you guys do that with Lexipol right now, right? So you're covered on that. But that would include all other employees, including the board members. And Justin, I can't require you to, the board can't require you to as zoning people, but I would request and strongly encourage that you could take that back to the BZA and to the zoning commission and have everybody go through these same tapes as well. We'll even spring for pizza. But I think it's a good thing, and I want to get us on a cycle of doing this every year. When I was in private industry, you did it every year, every year, every year. And it's just one of those things you need to do. You need to do, it's the right thing to do for all the right reasons. So I'm gonna leave that, Justin, between you and Chris, if you could kind of coordinate that. The tapes, you got, the discs or tapes are now, right? How long do we have those for?
Oh, about another day. Well,
Okay, so if we just say we mailed them back, there's nothing about lying and mailing stuff back,
They
right?
actually sent me 2 sets, so I'll send 1 set back.
Okay, all right, so let's try to get that coordinated, and I know it's not a lot of time, but as quickly as we can get something coordinated and go through and do those. Bill, if we, from legally, if the BZA and the zoning commission get together as a group and view these, and if the board gets together and views these, is that considered a public meeting?
Now, if you
or
don't
not?
discuss it among yourselves,
All right, so if we just go and view the tapes.
just like going to the conference, you sit through the
Okay.
presentation, and then
All right.
you can listen this way, but you can't go this way.
Okay, all right. So that takes care of that. We don't have to worry about violating any kind of sunshine laws.
Right.
Okay, good, good, good.
Now, the chief's tapes were from the OTA, right?
Yeah.
And then Rick's was from Otarma, right?
Well, no,
Right.
mine was from Otarma.
Oh, yours was, okay,
Okay.
okay.
All right, how long do we have that?
Yeah, that's
for?
who I get my,
Yeah.
that's, I get mine through retirement.
How long did they let you have it? For 3 weeks? This last one that you got?
Until I mail it back.
I like that.
We might be
All
buying
right.
that one then.
That's all
Are
right.
these DVDs?
Yeah,
Everybody's saying tapes.
yeah, well,
You're letting your youth show now.
it's on an 8-track.
8-track.
All right. Okay, so
Look at that, just in case somebody.
I'll take the lead with the board to get us organized somehow to get together and watch those. I'll get whoever we're using as our admin assistant at the time to do that. Chris, if you and Justin can kind of take the lead on the zoning side of it with Alice in there, and Karen will take care of that as well. Will that work? Is everybody okay with that?
I'm good with that.
All right.
All right,
Yes,
Ron Spanauer again.
you still Ron.
Are you making sure that once everybody watches these tapes, that it's
Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to come up with some kind of little, you've watched these, you sign it off.
Yeah,
for
you
each
got
of
a
these tapes.
sign-in
Yeah.
sheet, everybody's got a
Yeah.
sign-in sheet.
employees, every employee,
Yes,
I
yes, yeah. And I know, and it always sounds bad to say it this way, but for all the years I was in business, it was very much a CYA for the company side as well.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't provide training and something happens, you're liable as a company.
That's- Exactly.
So you're liable as a township. If I give you all the training, I give you all the tools, and you still go out and do something stupid, I'm no longer liable, it's on you because you did it.
Self-dealing, self-property, and negligence are the 3 things that
Mhm.
you're not covered by as a board.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, but that's, so maybe, Bill, if you can put together just I mean, you've done these before when you did these, just some kind of little sign-off sheet thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
no problem.
all right.
Marty?
The tape, or the DVD comes, they send you the
Oh,
paperwork.
they sent it with it.
Oh, okay.
You have to fill the paperwork out that you watched it, what day.
Is there any kind of like a little test or quiz you take afterwards to make sure you didn't sleep through it?
I didn't see one, maybe
Okay.
I slept through the quiz.
Jeez.
Thank you, Richard. All right, yes, Shirley.
On your comment though about that we haven't done it, we used to do it every year.
Yeah.
And,
So, no, since I've been here, we haven't.
no, since you've been here, in fact, since, I think 2014 or 15 was the last one. I
Okay.
don't know if Karen remembers or not, but.
I remember doing that.
Yeah,
Every
we
year.
did.
They were being done yearly.
Right, every
Somebody
year.
would come and we were all on the hall,
Yeah.
a whole bunch in one crack. But that, I don't know why it
But when I
stopped.
brought it up though, the years after, when they stopped doing it,
Mhm.
I never got a response.
I know, I'd ask about it as well, but But that does matter, it's all water
But
over the
I
dam.
just wanted to make it clear that it's not that we didn't do it at all.
Right.
We did do it every year.
Oh, I know at one point it was, yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right, so we'll get back on that bandwagon and shore up and go forward.
Good.
And just to clarify, they did sign their papers that
Okay.
they watched, and they're in their files
Okay,
already,
good.
so that everyone keeps it in uniform.
Awesome. Excellent. All right.
Warren, I don't know if this is other old business or new business, but I have some questions about the recent increases that were handed.
Okay, we'll do that under the public participation. Just get another couple down, then we'll hit those, okay?
Gotcha.
Got it, okay. All right, any other old business? Yes.
Last week, or last meeting, we talked about a zoning secretary coming on full-time.
Yes.
And Karen would like to do that.
Okay.
Is in agreement with the terms that we discussed,
Okay.
so I don't know if we want to do that.
Well, do we have a motion to accept that?
I would motion to accept that.
Do we have a second?
I will second that.
And all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign? All right, from what I understand, Karen, you've also agreed to do meeting minutes for the trustees' meetings up until sometime in
May 31st.
May 31st, and then be available if we need you as a sub
Yes.
going forward.
Yes.
So we'll probably need a sub every 2 weeks.
Don't think so.
Okay, all right. Okay, then Laura, if you can get the paperwork she needs, and, all right, cool. Cool beans. All right, anything else under old business? All right, new business. All right, we have a resident here. You want to stand up and state your name and kind of what we talked about on the phone?
Oh, hello, my name is Linda Stadler. I grew up in Lafayette Township. And we have land here in Lafayette Township that is butting up right next towards the Walt Cemetery. We are going to be selling some of it. We want to know if the township first wanted to.
Okay. All right, so I would ask our cemetery liaison. Remember how I said there was not much to do in the cemetery? Could you get, kind of start looking into that a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. I don't think we need to do anything formally, right, Bill? I mean, just.
No, if you need the land and they're willing to sell, you can buy.
Okay.
There's no strong laid out formal procedure you've got to go.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Okay. And I thank you very much for coming and asking us first. I appreciate that. I do. Thank you. All right. Other new business. All right, I do have one. We have a temporary admin assistant, Sherry Mikey, that I would like to offer her as a permanent position. She's at the same terms we stated in the organizational meeting for that position. Sherry brings a lot of good skill sets in. She's also, in a very nice way, she's quite the IT and web whiz. She has been doing updates on our website. If you go on our website now, we finally have all the right trustees on, all the right contact information. We're up to date with all the meeting minutes. She knows how to put on videos when we start doing that. If we decide we're going to do those as well, we'll figure out ways to section it off to post all the reports on. And she is capable of doing all of that. She's done a great job, I think at least. She's really stepped up and kind of taken hold of things. I would, bless you, I would propose that or I would make a motion that we offer her that position. Any discussion?
Yeah, discussion, yes. What's the hours of agreement?
I think originally we said 10 to 2 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I had talked to Sherry. She is able to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and she could extend the hours a little bit if we needed to. She can't work on Thursdays. She has another commitment on Thursdays to work.
What about Friday?
Yeah, Friday. It was originally Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Right.
And then she was gonna add in potentially Tuesday if we wanted.
So will it still be Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
It would at least be that. It could also be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
Well, that's
You-
all right, I just need to know when I call people up
Yep.
and tell them that their permits are ready to be picked up, because they have to be signed for. I need to know what days
Right,
it's
and that's why
gonna
we
be.
also need to put that on, we want to put that on the website, when it's actually gonna be manned, and then post it on the front of the building as well.
Yeah, okay,
So people know when
I
people are
mean,
gonna
if
be
you
there.
make changes, that's fine, I just kind of need
Yep.
to know what
Yep.
they are.
So for sure, 10 to 2, but we're
But
gonna,
we could, if we decide we need to go more hours, we can. I think right now, she's working more hours than that. And I know she's doing things from home. I know she met with you, Chris, on Friday for a couple, 3 hours Friday night, doing some website things. She's also capable of doing a lot of the stuff from home as well. So there's a lot of flexibility with that, a lot of flexibility.
Would be a contractor or an employee?
Employee.
Employee.
Yep.
Marty, with the hours though, from 10 to 2, that's awful short. Because you never know when a resident needs to come in to discuss anything.
Well, and that's true, Shirley, but even if you made it from 8 to 5, 3 days a week, they could stop in on a Tuesday as opposed to a Wednesday. The idea would be we would post on the website what the hours are and on the door, so anybody that's gonna come in, hopefully they would, at least if they showed up and say, oh, they'll be here tomorrow during these hours, or I get there at 4:30, they're only here from 10 to 2. And again, flexible. Nothing's written in stone. It's flexible to see what are we gonna need.
Now, I know that, I heard a lot of comments about the short hours and that there's nobody at the building now. And there's a lot of people that want to pick up something or ask questions, whatever, and it's after they leave work. So they're coming in at 3, 4, or 5 o'clock.
Well, and that's,
And if you have those short hours, in other words, if you work, forget it, you're not gonna be able to go to the township for anything.
well, but if you're working till 5 o'clock, you're still not gonna be able to because they're gone by then.
But they will make arrangements to, if they have to leave work maybe a half hour early, you know, to come in, they will do it. But they're not gonna leave work 3 hours early
Right.
to come in.
Okay?
Because we're there to service the residents.
I realize that.
And having those short hours, we're not servicing them.
It's
You
true.
might have one day where you-
Hopefully, though, the website will become a little bit more interactive as well.
Oh, hold on, one at a time. Yes, Dave, please?
Joe Rickers,
Yes.
what about a day or so, you know, if it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday? Pick a day or 2 days where she's open for schedule, good schedule. You know, so there's like a later appointment in advance,
Oh,
That's a
okay.
good idea.
you can schedule it, you know?
Or have one day.
Now,
where
granted,
work
you might fill up, so you might have to go to the next week, or, but something where,
Yeah.
you know, a day out of the week where maybe it's later hours versus 10 to 2, or maybe it's 2 to 5, or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Again, and there's time slots you can schedule.
Good point.
I guess they're all good points, but at the same time, there's a budget, and there's a limited amount of money. And how often does somebody need to schedule to come in? And if they needed something to schedule and come in after hours, wouldn't that really be something that you three are here for?
Yeah, depending on what it is,
Depending on
yeah.
what the issue is.
Yep.
yeah.
I mean, most likely, you're gonna be able to handle any type of resident issue that the admin.
Most of the
assistant
drop-in
would be able to-
pickup stuff, I would think would be more zoning related than
Zoning
anything
related.
else.
It
Right, and
is,
Alice keeps hours of her own.
well, the thing is, the permits have to be signed for. They can drop stuff off in the box anytime,
Mm-hmm.
middle of the night if they're crazy enough to do that. But it does need to be signed, and 10 to 2 is one thing, and maybe one day a week, or 2 at the most. Instead of 10 to 2, have 1 to 5 or something like that, where if they need it, they come get it. Also, a lot of the permits, though, are from the contractors, and the contractors have time during the day to come in. So, a little flexibility probably is
Mhm.
good, but that's up to you.
But we'll also have an assistant fiscal officer that'll be in there different hours as well, potentially.
Yeah, but again, they'll be there during the day, not at night, probably, so. I don't know how, a lot of times when people knew they had to be there at a certain time, they'd come in at lunch, or wife would come in if she's not working.
Mhm.
But if it's a subcontractor, or the actual contractor,
Right.
they can schedule to come there when the office is open, period. If they they're all on zoning.
You also have with the town hall, when you're renting the town hall. And come spring and summer, you're gonna have rentals of the town hall.
Mhm.
And
There were 2 last year, for the whole year, there were 2.
only 2?
There were 2.
But,
Well,
and we
that's
just,
That's probably because of COVID.
and we just we had a rental today for the town hall, and we have one tomorrow for the town hall. And they call in to say they need to, excuse me, thank you. They call in ahead of time, they make arrangements, come and get the key. They take care of the paperwork, drop it off, and they call in to make arrangements, come in and get the key, and they arrange a time that's mutually acceptable. And if it's gonna come down to a point, Shirley, that they can only be there after 5 o'clock, then, like you said, one of the 3 of us can go down there and do that.
I was thinking like 3, 4 o'clock, but as I noticed that, when I was there, that when they'd come to pick up the keys, usually it was around 4 o'clock.
Well,
Yeah.
but that also might have just been because that's the hours we were offering as well. I mean, I don't
They weren't
know.
offering, they just knew that we were there.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but if they know that we're leaving at 2 or 3, then maybe they're there by 2 or 3 as opposed to 4 if they knew we were gonna be there till 4. I don't know. Don't know. I mean, I would love to have somebody there from 8 to 5, 5 days a week. But as Justin said, sometimes you gotta watch the nickels. You can't afford to spend all the money, right? Okay. So how would we like to move forward on this? You want a table for more discussion?
I would move to make the motion to bring Sherry on
Okay?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 to 2. I'd like to see the hours spread out just a little bit more,
Okay.
but let's make sure we can cover that.
And like I said, I think she can do Tuesday as well. The only day I know she can't do is Thursday. She teaches a computer class at the library.
Thursday, yeah.
Do we want to put a maximum weekly hour limit on there, or?
I think we have the resolution.
It is in there. I want to say it's 25 hours?
24, 25.
Maybe that's
Kinda
it.
what
Yeah,
I would second the motion that
okay.
Ty made.
All right. The only other discussion I want to bring in, I want to put this on the record, because Sherry was very concerned about this. Bill, you and I have talked about this, but this does not create a conflict of interest since she is on the zoning commission, correct? Okay. Just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything on that, because that's very important to her that she stays on. For some reason, she loves doing the zoning work. I think you guys are your own special breed of people, but she loves doing the zoning work. She wanted to make sure that didn't conflict with that at all. All right, so then I would say, those in favor of bringing Sherry on, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign? All right, motion carries. I'll let Sherry know and we'll get her going. Okay. Other new business. I had Sherry type up the meetings for our twice-a-month meetings, first and third Mondays. And there are 2 Mondays that fall on holidays that I would propose that we strike and not have a meeting that day. That being July 4th and September 5th. And just have 1 meeting that month, 1 meeting in July, 1 meeting in September. And in November, our second meeting of the month is on the 21st, which is the week of Thanksgiving. I would motion that either we cancel that meeting ahead of time and maybe take this meeting, it would have been on the 7th, and put it on the 14th, so we split the month in half, or just do the one meeting, leave it on the 7th, just for, actually, I think we would have to do that, because we've already posted, that's our meeting schedule. So that would just say we were gonna be preemptively canceling July 4th, September 5th, and November 21st.
Scratch, all that's.
No, that, yeah, I would just, yeah, but that's, there's too much we have to do at the end of the year. We can't get rid of one before Christmas. There's way too much.
And what was the November 21st?
Yeah. Any discussion, any thoughts? We okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
All right, so I would move we do that. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign? Okay, I will get that information to Sherry and have her update the website with that as well. Sherry has also gone on the website and updated I asked her to put together a BZA and zoning commission job description for alternates. And if I read the last email right, I think that's now posted on the website as well. Make sure you take a look at that. Make sure you take a look at that, make sure everything is the way you want to see it. And then I can tell her we can take down the posting for the zoning secretary. And can we take down the posting for the roadman, or do we need to leave that up?
Not vote until
I'll
next
still
meeting.
need temporary, part-time for in the summer to mow.
Okay, all right, so we'll leave that one up then.
But if I can find college kids like I did before, that was perfect, that worked out perfect,
Hard trying to find anybody that wants to do that anymore.
but
Okay.
whatever.
I got a question on the zoning, Chris. How long are we gonna advertise if we have people that are wanting to come on board?
I know we've got
we're gonna
one
pick?
application
I'm
in
looking
now.
at Joe right
Right.
here.
Yeah.
It's just that we made the announcement last time to advertise for it, so I felt like we had to have
Bill,
it
is
before
there
a certain
any
time.
legal requirement of how long we have to advertise for?
No.
Okay, so why don't we just give it to the next meeting, decide at the next meeting?
Yep.
Just be patient. Okay.
Did
When
you have
say that,
anybody
you want
else?
them to notify you by the
Yeah, we,
Yeah.
by the 21st.
Right.
If they're interested.
Yep, and then we can have, just give Sherry a call and have her update it and amend it with that. But again, read the descriptions, make sure. And Justin, I would ask you the same thing, especially on the BZA side. Read the descriptions posted, make sure it makes sense and looks right to you.
Okay.
I mean, you've been on the BZA a while, from what I understand, you do a very nice job on that. So just, well, I didn't say that, I said, I've been told that, it may be all lies, I don't know. No, but
Pay me for the lies.
But just take a look, make sure that she covered all the years. She's been around long enough, I think she probably has it down pretty well, but just make sure there's nothing else you might want to modify and change, and just let her know, okay?
Yep.
All right. Okay. All right, that's all the new business I have. I've got one piece of correspondence. We received a thank you note from the Medina County SPCA Board, thanking us for our donation of $5,000 at the end of last year for the SPCA. And that kind of covered for what we didn't do the previous year and for last year's donation. So we kind of caught up from lost ground, but they were very appreciative of it. That to you. And that's, I think, that is all I have for correspondence. Anybody else have any correspondence?
Yeah, I had quite a few snow-related, well, I had one correspondence from Justin, but I didn't answer that because it wasn't township business. I did answer everybody else, but they're all mailbox-related. And the interesting thing is, just because you live in the township doesn't mean the township plows your road. ODOT could plow it, county could plow it, township could plow it, and you may live on a private road, so some private contractor's gonna plow it. So if you're not sure, just keep calling, that's okay. I'll let you know if it's county or private or whatever, but my biggest worry was people that didn't know that they were on a private road, we cannot be plowing on private roads. That would be a big, big no-no. So, we did replace, like Rick said, some mailboxes. Most of the mailboxes that were hit seemed to be the county. But correspondences, I believe that was it.
And the car that was partially buried by a plow truck was a county truck as well. I got a phone call on that.
Oh, yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, we had somebody out on one of the county roads that pulled out, he slid off the side, and as he was trying to work his car out, the plow truck came by and partially buried his car. He sat there for quite a while until he was able to get a tow truck out there to finally get him pulled out and get him going again. But all healthy, everybody, he was okay, there was no problems, but he called quite animated, and I understood that. And when I found out where he was, I said, well, here's who you need to call. And he said, oops. But it happens, not everybody knows. Not everybody knows. Okay. All right, any other correspondence? Okay. Public participation.
Hey, how are you? Once man, are you?
Yes.
Listen, I got a glimpse at something a spreadsheet. It compared our firefighters and what they get paid compared to other communities. I started to pick out those communities that really weren't comparable to Lafayette Township, either in size or income. Because, let's face it, you have a certain amount of income. You have to live within your budget. I mean, my ex-wife told me that, see, and I learned, okay? And it does seem that, for the most part, that we didn't pay enough. That's what it appears. What I'd like to know is, I can't give my kid a raise in their allowance if I don't have the money. So my question is, where did the money come from? For these
I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. Was that the question?
Well,
Okay.
that's one of my questions.
All right.
Where did the money come from? If it didn't come from a levy, where did it come from?
We went through and we spent a lot of time determining, and I spent a lot of time with Chief,
Right.
determining, you've got a fixed bucket of money. You can either spend it all on people and have nothing left for equipment.
Right.
You can spend it all on equipment and have nobody to run the equipment, or you can share it back and forth.
Okay.
And basically what happened is we just started shifting buckets.
Okay.
Just started shifting buckets.
Okay.
Now,
Now, you're allowed
there
to
is
do
some
that
money
with equipment?
with, within the fire budget, just
Okay.
the fire budget.
I'm just
Not
saying,
out of
between
like the
equipment and-
roads or.
Between capital equipment and I don't know if
And
capital
one
equipment
different
was
things,
included
like
in
if
it.
you,
I'm
if
just
we
saying.
offered, if we had $100,000 allotted for small tools
Right.
for the fire, you could take 50,000 out and put it in big tools.
Understood.
Because it's all within the fire budget.
Right.
Nothing came out of the roads budget, the general fund, this was all out of that.
Not that
Now,
out of
there's,
capital, okay.
there's also, and this was very, very exciting news, and we'll have to do this one for our next meeting, but there was also the large bucket of ARP money that the government, the state has allotted us,
Okay.
which all told over two different payments is a little bit north of $600,000.
Yep.
When it first came out, they were very specific, you can only use it for boots with blue shoelaces.
I think, yeah, I don't think it was for that.
I mean,
I
but
know
it
they
was,
were
it was
specific, yeah.
really, but it was
Right.
very, very
Understand.
tight, very, very, very tight.
Yes.
We just went down to the meetings here last week, the OTA meetings, the Ohio Township Association meetings, and as of January 6th, was it, Laura? When they passed the, I think it was January 6th when the state legislature passed an amendment, the final spending amendment, and basically what they said was, you can assume X amount of revenue loss as a standard deduction.
Okay.
You don't have to show you actually had this loss, it's just, this is your standard deduction.
Okay.
If you take that approach, then this money you have, you can spend on anything you want that you would normally have spent on out of your general fund, with the exception of, and I might miss one of them, but it was extra money to go into pension plans, like huge amounts into pension plans.
So in other words,
Legal.
it's not gonna cause us a shortfall.
No, no. We want to be very, very careful that we didn't do this. One of the things that one of the past trustees taught me was on January 1st, her comment was, manna does not fall from heaven.
That's
You
right.
don't get buckets of money.
Yeah.
So you've always got to make sure you have plenty of carryover. You can't spend everything up to the end of the year. And we have been very, very, very diligent in that.
Great.
And we're continuing to be very diligent with that. It would be nice to go out and do more, but you can't, because you've got to watch for next year.
Right.
You can't just spend like, you know what, this year, and not care about next year.
You
So
are
that's,
my new wife now.
I'm not gonna go there at all.
I assume she's at home, right?
Oh, yeah.
But no, it's been with very, very close,
Good.
close eye on it. And we went through and determined how much, because I'll be honest, the raises were big. They were big.
Bigger than mine.
They were bigger than anything I ever got when I worked.
Well,
For
that's a
paramedics.
different story.
I mean, the paramedic raises were $3 an hour. But we were
I
also,
was just looking at, what we were paying versus the other communities, and I said, wait a minute, we don't compare to some of these other
Right.
communities,
Right.
income-wise, size-wise, in terms of revenue and stuff, so.
the trouble is we start losing people
Yeah.
to those just because of that. I mean, at the end of the day, and I say this not just about Lafayette, but I'll say this about pretty much any township or any department, at least in the state or the county maybe, just, our safety services people are horribly underpaid. And when you can work at a fast food joint and make more money than you can as a paramedic saving people's lives. And I realize that if you're working at a fire station or in a safety service building, maybe you get 2 calls in your shift. But for those 2 calls, you're saving somebody's life. And maybe 6 hours of your 10-hour shift, maybe you are just doing studying and cleaning up and doing this and doing maintenance and self-study. But for those hours that you're not, you're saving somebody's life. And to me, that's worth a whole lot more than, do you want to supersize that?
Well, no,
And we needed to do
I don't
that.
disagree with you, Marty.
I mean, we lost a good person.
Because they want to make top dollar.
Right. If they were, they would not do it.
Right,
And if
exactly.
they did, they would work in a hospital environment or something that did pay a lot
Right.
more than what we do.
Right.
You know, we've been very, very lucky between the chief and the officers in how they've been able to develop the department. And quite honestly, the citizens of Lafayette Township, the trust they gave us when they forked up the money for this building, which was not a small expense. It
Oh, I
was
know, I
four-
helped
$4.5 million
promote
bucks.
it. Yeah,
But it gave us something that even when we weren't paying very well, we were still getting people out. At the old salaries we were at, we were staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with at least 1 paramedic on every shift.
yeah.
Now, I didn't go on further, that was for how many months in a row? The last how many months?
Yeah.
And to do that, when you look at other communities, the city of Medina that can't do that. That speaks not just for what you're paying people, but what else the chief, the assistant chief, the officers were able to bring to this department.
Oh,
I mean, they did a phenomenal job.
I don't
A
disagree.
phenomenal
That's
job.
one of the things I think it's a great value to live in this township.
Yep.
I mean, we have some very, very good people running things here. And I don't get paid top dollar.
Well, the trustees do, we make a fortune.
Marty, I heard that. So thank you.
All right, no problem at all, no problem. All right, any other questions? Justin, you had a couple things that you had sent me emails on, and I said, well, one of them you said you wanted to address in open meeting, and I said, that's fine. So I'm gonna ask you just kind of reiterate your questions, and I'll try to address them here.
Well,
Or the board will, I should say.
I think the main one, and I won't, read the whole email, but I had emailed you about the fact that, at the November 19th special meeting after your executive session, you came out, motioned to terminate Rick Evans,
Mhm.
voted in the affirmative to terminate Rick Evans, and then January 10th, you vote to rehire him.
Mhm.
So that's a pretty big about face. Without reading the whole email that I had sent to you, and I think it's the piece that you maybe picked up on because of your reply, I highlighted that in that meeting, Law Director Thorne had been asked about a complaint against Rick Evans if one had been filed. And I had highlighted that, to which you rebutted that it was also stated that he was not, not for cause.
He was
Which
not dismissed for cause,
is
correct.
different than without reason. And I think that's the part where I'd have a question, given the fact that we have a public record that shows a workplace harassment, a hostile workplace complaint from the fiscal officer that was directed at Rick and former Secretary Kim Buell. We have documentation from employees of potential mismanagement of the timesheets, which it's interesting that Mr. Fullerton brought up the fact that new controls have been instituted in the service department to make sure that there is no funny business going on.
What documents about mismanagement of,
I didn't say documents about mismanagement, I said there are reports, there's conversations, there's discussions, people talk.
okay.
That's that, but there's documentation of a hostile workplace complaint that was
We
made
had,
by
we had a
Laura.
hostile workplace complaint, but I want to be very clear, let me be very clear. When you said issues on, and I don't know your exact words, but maybe you repeat them, on hours and time, what was that one again? Can you
There are
repeat that?
former employees that have stated that they were paid for hours that they didn't work, and that Rick had
Okay.
signed off on them.
Well,
Now,
do you,
again,
do you have affidavits from them? Do you have them to present? I mean, I hate dealing in hearsay, Justin. I just
how
hate
about
dealing in
this?
hearsay.
And that's perfectly fine. I guess my point is, you know that there's an open complaint, there's videos of mistreatment of residents by Rick, there's.
There is?
Okay, you.
No,
that's
I'm
fine.
asking you, there is?
You've seen them. And again, we won't, the main question is, why would you move to make the motion to terminate him and then approve the rehiring of him?
I was asked to make the motion when we were in executive session, and we came out. When we went back into executive session in January, we discussed needing to have a supervisor. We discussed potential candidates and discussed Rick as a potential candidate. When we came back into open meeting, we voted on it. And at that point, I voted to rehire him.
So that meeting was the first time you guys had discussed it.
That was the first official meeting we had with him, yes.
But at 9 o'clock, I believe it was roughly 9 o'clock, you announced rehiring him without ever talking to him, and he was able to start work the next morning.
We wanted him to start work immediately, yes. We had
And you knew he was available,
storms
even though That was
coming.
the first conversation you had with rehiring him. But again, we're getting off into the weeds. Again, I guess what I'm saying is, what changed your mind on such a huge flip-flop?
Discussions that happened in executive session that you know as well as I do, can't be discussed in public
You
meetings.
just said you were asked in executive session to make the motion. So you're discussing what happened in executive session, and nobody can refute that because they can't talk about what happened in executive session.
That was in the executive session with the past board.
But you see what I'm saying is,
Right.
you're saying you were asked by somebody in executive session to do it.
Mhm.
So it wasn't, you weren't okay with the termination in the first place, but you voted for it.
I didn't say that either.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there an open complaint? Is there an open complaint regarding mistreatment of personnel? Is there an open complaint?
We-
Is there a?
There was a-
I'm not asking if it's true or not. I'm asking, is there an open complaint?
There was a complaint issued, a complaint written in October of last year.
Who's doing the investigation?
As far as I'm aware, that investigation is sealed, it's done.
Who? Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. No. No, 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 no.
I'll-
No, don't tell me it's sealed.
Well, then, I didn't mean sealed,
Wait,
maybe it's
not
as far as-
sealed.
No, not sealed.
No, 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 then, no.
Sealed
No,
was the
not
wrong-
unless-
sealed was the
not
wrong
Unless there
word.
was an illegal, not unless there was a legal agreement made to seal it.
No, and that's, sealed was the wrong word.
Okay.
Sealed was the wrong word.
Is there an open investigation?
Not at this point, and I'll direct that to Bill.
Was it closed?
I'm not aware of any.
Was it brought to your attention?
To my attention, I was not involved in that when it came in.
When it first came in, yes.
So,
County Prosecutor's Office was at those meetings. As far as I
Medina
know,
County
that's done.
prosecutors?
Huh? Yes,
Medina County prosecutor? Okay. It's Thompson, whatever.
yeah.
I can talk to him.
Yeah, Mike Lyons
Mike Lyons, right.
was the one who sat in the meeting.
Well, I know his boss.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure.
But there's-
As long as
yeah, but there's
if
no-
the investigation's over with, and you guys are happy with the results, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if you're not, or if it wasn't clear, I'd like to know what the vote was.
I would tell you that if I wasn't comfortable, I would have not voted when we came back into session in January to rehire Mr. Evans. I
You
was
can
very
see how it
comfortable.
sounds, though.
Of course.
You can see how it sounds.
Mhm.
I mean, according to what I just heard, you voted to have him removed.
And when we came back in with the new board, I
Right.
voted to bring him back on. Absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely.
all right. We're just gonna make sure that it's all done and it's settled.
Yes.
Okay.
Justin, what else?
No, that's fine.
I thought there was something else you had,
Well,
There was a different email
I was
about-
asking about, at the first meeting, we had talked about, the video recording and everything like that. And originally, you didn't want to do the YouTube page anymore, you wanted to do it on the website. And then earlier, you already said that if you guys decide to start recording again, so we'll wait to see if
but
you
you,
guys decide
you
to start
made a comment,
recording.
that's what it was, that's what it was. You had said something about, and I hopefully I don't misquote this, if I do, please correct me, that I made, something that bothered you
Oh,
about
well, you referred
insinuating
to
that
you
Mr.
referred to
Kyle
the-
was-
The meetings being recorded by
by Steve.
by Steve, and
Mhm.
I just wanted to point out to you that can't, I mean, you guys can decide whatever you want, but if that's the official
Oh, and it-
township video.
And it absolutely is not. That's just something
That's
that,
all.
and no different than, I mean, you could come in here and record them,
Absolutely.
or anybody, Alice could, well, you probably couldn't. But anybody who wants to can come in here and record the meetings and post them, do whatever they want.
But you understand my question, given the videos that were released during campaign season where Mr. Fullerton wanted to take credit for forcing the previous board to record and post them online, and now you guys aren't recording them or sharing them online. I mean, just, I would have probably made sure that I was recording them if I made such a big deal out of it, for 3 months. That's all.
Okay,
Fair enough.
okay. Anything else? Well, guys, thank you very much. This went well. I like this. I really hope that we continue to get this kind of attendance. I want to go through a lot of copy paper for agendas. This is nice. All kidding aside, I sat through years on the board. What, 5, 6 years on the board? And other than township employees, if we had 1 or 2 people show up, we had 3 people show up, that was a big crowd. I love this. This is fantastic. This is what local government is all about. It's people coming in, having different opinions, voicing their opinions, and making their voice heard. This is what we're supposed to be doing here. This is the whole idea of local government. And I commend each and every one of you on coming in. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, is there anything else we need to do? We have nothing to sign today, right? Okay, so I would move that we adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll
You
second.
can't make the motion. Somebody else has to make the motion.
Now, he can make a motion.
Actually, I can. I learned, I went to a class on motions and resolutions. Yes,
All right,
and I found out that I can.
all right.
Because I had no idea what I couldn't
Oh,
get
that's
to
right, you
before that.
can't second, no, I can't.
Now, they don't follow Robert's rules. They've never adopted Robert's rules of order.
Oh, yeah, I learned about Robert's Rules of Order, a book about this thick.
No, it's not that big, I read it.
Well, then you've read the abbreviated versions about
Can I
this
have a
thick.
motion? Can I have a motion, you can ask?
I'll second.
All those in favor, aye? Aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming. I still get to go home and spend some time with my wife on her birthday.
I'm sorry?
441-1676. I'll get my phone and. Linda.